I've just realised I've been talking the whole time and my mic has been muted. Absolutely pathetic. But at least we've been racing the whole time. I can't believe that. The whole time my mic had been muted. Are you joking? So if anybody is watching, well, now you can obviously speak. But that is super frustrating. I wish somebody had said something though. If somebody had said maybe that you can't hear you, I would have known. I'd always say though, if you are ever watching streams and you're not in a position where you can hear them, the best thing to do is to let them know. I was going to, I didn't know until literally just now. But yeah, the best thing to do though, if there are any sort of sound problems personally, not just sound problems, but any sort of issues, I think the best thing would be to let the person know, because they may not even know. I didn't know. So the best thing to do would just let them know. Let them know, and then obviously they can try and sort it out. But yeah, Mr. Permanent he's been trying to get involved, but he did potentially get front wing damage with glue, I was saying, but obviously nobody could hear me, unfortunately. But that was an interesting one. I don't think he did, in all truth, and he has been keeping pace very well with Doug. Doug was looking like he could have made a move on Bosjan, just a lap or two after making the pit stop, but since then he has faded away. Bosjan has not been in a position to close up towards Hazer. He did briefly get within half a second, but it's been no closer. And Merck as well, and Link's Piece both linking up with this battle for P3. Doug at the moment doing a solid job to keep the likes of Poem, Merck, Lynx and Rusted Bolt at bay. And we saw further down there were battles where Beast lost out to both Red Bulls and also lost out towards DD Friend. I think he went a bit deep in trying to keep up with DD Friend, which saw both Red Bulls, not just Volkor, but also Sergeant Devsey, sailed past beyond Beast, and they're up into P12 and P13. So Beast losing out there. But at the moment, it's quite stable in terms of how the race is. Nobody going for too many drastic opportunities. The top two, certainly Hazer, looking quick. Doug is just defending for all he can muster on Mr. Poem. I'm not sure if it's the smartest of strategies to try and defend hard against the likes of Mr. Poem, Merc, Lynx and Rusted Bolt. Obviously, you may not want to let them all through. At the moment, the reality is a podium is on the cards for Doug, so I don't see why he would want to. I keep thinking in my mind though, the AlphaTauri, something's making me question if the AlphaTauri is genuinely the slowest car. I don't know if it actually is now, and I might actually try and test it out, you know. After the race, I think I might test it out. Anyways, they are all going for the battle. I think I Am Batman was being lapped down. Off goes Merc, who's having to take to the escape route. Doesn't get any penalty as a result, but he doesn't just lose out towards Poem or Lynx. He loses out to Rusted Bolt, his own teammate. And Merc drops down to P7. Mr. Poem now under threat here from Link's Piece, rather. And this is a battle for 4th place, as Beast is out of the session. He is retired in the pit lane. And Mr. Poem is just about ahead of Link's Piece. An interesting one there. Did he get an illegal overtake? Pretty sure he was off track when he done that. Unless somebody definitely went off track there, I thought it may have been Mr. Poem. I could have been wrong, it could have been Lynx. One of them was definitely off track, unless it was a lapped car. I mean, I Am Batman, it has been lapped, and the McLaren is trying his best. But clearly Lowe's full wets. He did go on to full wets, I will note. So he went on to full wets. That did not work, as Mr. Poem has received a 3-second penalty. Still no full core safety car or virtual safety car from what I have seen. And again, there could have been a virtual safety car when I wasn't in the lobby. Further down the field, Volkor Warrior and DD Friend are going at it here. They are side by side. From Ascari, and off goes the Red Bull. Off Volkor Warrior, they were side by side. I mean, I'm not sure why you would want to be side by side there. As Mr. Poem into the pits. Is it full wet conditions time here? It could very well be time for the full wet conditions. Let's see what Mr. Poem opts for. Look at that, it's heavy rain. No change of wing, and it is full wet for Mr. Poem. Full wet for Merc. And I think Brewdog, DD Friend and Sergeant Devsey would all follow suit as well. And also Doug has radically caught up to Bosjan. The Haas has made an error. A big error. And he's made an overtake. Doug has gone through. Bosjan is losing places. What has happened to the Haas? He's not lost one, he's not lost two. He has lost 3 places to Doug, Lynx and Rusted Bolt. And Bosjan is in trouble, heaps of trouble. But Lynx Peace is going to fly past Doug here into Ascari. Or is he? They are side by side. Potential contact, but Doug defends with all his might and stays ahead of the Haas. What a drive from Doug. And in second place, no wonder why, he's got the pace, we all know it at his track. Doug is genuinely quick here, and he is showing that by keeping pace with these tier 1 drivers. And then you got Parkour in behind as well in 6th place, 7.5 seconds off the pace, but it does look like Mr. Poem might be a contender to overtake some of these drivers. Hazer clearly is looking comfortable. Bosjan receives a 5-second penalty, and unfortunately he's retiring in the pit lane. I think he was very frustrated in the end. Lynx Peaster not in a position here. He's actually lost out towards Rusted Bolt. So Bolt is now up onto the podium in the Williams. And there you go. Into the pits also goes Parkour. Mr. Poem right now. The gap to the leader is about 30 seconds from Mr. Poem and Merc all the way to Hazer. And they've got a pretty good gap towards Doug. So we have a look if those tyres are going to be gaining. As you can see, it is looking like it is full wet, because the full wets are gaining time on the intermediate tyres. Not loads, but every sort of fraction of the track they go through, they are gaining about half a tenth or 1/10 of a second. And now they are beginning to gain quite radically. And they've closed the gap to Hazer by almost 1 second on lap 18 alone. And it is now entering the part where they will have caught him by a second, as Doug is now being passed by Rusted Bolt. He's fought hard, but not hard enough. Through goes Bolt and Lynx Peace as well. And they have made a double move. Doug losing out there to 2 drivers. Can he get it back when he's off track now? Have to be careful with that rejoin. He couldn't afford to make any slip-ups. It does look like it's full wet conditions time, but they are staying out, and they are still losing time to Mr. Poem at the front of the field. And Lynx Peace now is trying to go side by side. Couldn't make the overtake on Bolt. Don't forget Rusted Bolt has overtaken Lynx Peace on the lap prior. But now, let's see what they can both do. They've made a move on Doug. Dob goes into the pits, and the majority of the field have gone for full wet. It's just, 4 drivers and I Am Batman. Speaking of which, I Am Batman is gone for a spin and has lost some of his wing. There's no safety car being called out, however, but I Am Batman has certainly lost some of his wing, and he might be thinking about full wets right now as well. These full wet tyres may be the tyre to go on. Surely, it's looking too wet for the intermediates. And again, Mr. Poem is still gaining time and is less than 27 seconds behind Hazer. Before all of this, Mr. Poem was over 30 seconds behind Hazer. Now he is less than 27 seconds behind Hazer. He is definitely gaining time. He's a man on a mission. As Merc is also right there. He's about 6. Let's open up now to about 8 or 9 tenths behind. Shadow has also retired in the pit lane. But let's see what can happen here. But I'm not sure that the Hazer strategy is the one to be on right now, unless these conditions start to drop off and fade away. So there are yellow flags, and that was for the DNF of Shadow. Rusted Bolt then is going to try once more to keep Lynx behind. I think he's going to succeed in doing so. Lynx Peace is not close enough, and Doug has decided he's had enough of his inters. He knows he's losing time, and much of it, might I add. He is now into the pits. And he is on to the set of full wet tyres. He's not going to be too far behind the likes of Mr. P and Merc, but he would have lost a lot of time to them. So he'll be several seconds behind, but he will have the gap towards the Alpina parkour. But of course, he was not really racing parkour. He was quite clear of that. He was up in that front group. So Doug, unfortunately, quite some way adrift, sadly. But he's in a position where he can catch the field. Mr. Poem and Merck separated by, again, about 9/10 of a second. Merck keeping a safe distance, of course, in these conditions. Maybe you don't want to run too closely to the car ahead unless you really have to. They are still gaining a lot of time on Hazer, might I add. That gap now was less than 25 seconds between Hazer and Mr. Poem. Since Mr. Poem has pitted, he has gained about 6 seconds on Hazer in total. So in 3 laps, he has gained 6 seconds. 2 seconds per lap now, on average, that Mr. Poem has gained on the AlphaTauri of Hazer. They are teammates, don't forget. Certainly an interesting strategy call here, as Dom also is ahead of Brewdog, and the Aston Martin is about 6/10 ahead, so they will be battling out, and also DD Friend and Volcar Warrior. They've been going at it alongside the Red Bull of Sergeant Devsey for quite some time now. And speaking of which, Sergeant Devsey has unfortunately retired, and that will be a virtual safety car. Only a virtual safety car, but neither Hazel or Bolt are they going to be able to... They cannot pit. They're too far away. So I would argue it's not a bad thing for those on the full wet tyres. It would have been a bad thing if these 3 drivers were going around the final bend. If they were going around the final bend, I am certain they would have gone for full wets. Parkour is back in the pits here, as is WBA Brewdog. Are they going to go back onto Inters? No. No, they are not. That is definitely the full wets going back on to Parkour's car. Inters are, however, on for WBA Brewdog. So Brewdog is back onto the intermediate tyres. DD Friend is into the pits. He is going for a set of full wet tyres as well. But the only one now going for fresh inters is Brewdog. It's going to be intriguing if that strategy is the right one. Oh, the safety car has been called out. The yellow dot is on the track. It is a full course safety car. I've just seen a dot on the track. And there you go. That is the full course safety car is out for you. So now is a chance for Hazer to make the stop if he so wishes to. And as you can see, he is going in. It's unfortunate for the likes of Mr. Power and Merck in particular, because they were gaining a lot of time. And I think you might as well pit for fresh tyres as well if you are them, but they may lose out to Doug. Let's see what happens here, because I think if they do box, they'll come out behind Doug, and Doug doesn't need to pit again, unless they go for intermediates. This is going to be interesting, because Link's Piece has opted for full wets. Hazer and Russell Bolt have opted for inters. Mr. Poem and Merck, let's see what tyres they opt for. It's full wet for Mr. Poem and it is full wet for Merck. Doug is also into the pit. He literally pitted a lap ago. I don't really know why he's back into the pit, if I'm honest. Dom is going past him. Unless he's going for intermediate. If he's going for full wet, there's no point. He's going for full wet. I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded. You're 1 lap old full wet, and he's opted for fresh full wet, but he has lost 2 places to Dom and Folklore Warrior. He needs a strategy team, doesn't he? Somebody needs to be Doug's strategist. Because there's no way. I mean, he can't be driving an Aston Martin. He's driving a red car. He's driving a Ferrari. They both DNF'd and he decided, Doug, you can have our car. He is not driving anything but a Ferrari. There's no way Doug is not driving that red car. That is a Ferrari strategy. They would so tell their driver, they would tell Leclerc, you know what, mate, we're happy to lose 2 places for full wet. I know your tyres are 1 lap old, but we still think fresh, full wet tyres are the way to go and lose 2 places. Anybody want to tell me why he's made that move? Because I honestly, I do not understand it whatsoever. Why would you get rid of... Okay, it would have been 2 lap old. It would have been 2 lap old full wets for a fresh set of full wets. Again, 2 laps fresher, only 2 laps fresher, in a 100% race distance. But yet you lose 2 places to Dom and Volcor Warrior as a result. I'm not really sure that's the strategy I would have ever gone for. And when I say I'm not really sure, I absolutely know for certain that's not a strategy I would have gone for. Losing track position, okay, at Monza you might think normally may not be too bad. But in the wet conditions at Monza, is bad enough. You don't want to be losing out in terms of track position. So, the strategy call from Doug tonight, I am going to give a resounding 0 out of 10 for that strategy call. Even if he gets past Dom and Volcor Warrior, he can get past them within 1 lap. No, he didn't. He didn't have to serve a penalty. I was watching his pit stop. Some drivers did, I think, parkour. 1 or 2 others also did serve a penalty, but Doug did not need to. Oh. Volcor Warriors. Okay, Volcor Warriors let him through. Wow, really? What's going on? Apparently, Volcor Warriors basically given Doug the position, so Doug is now P7 and only behind his teammate. After all that, Doug may have an advantage. Only because Volcor Warrior has effectively screwed up under the safety car. But still, I'm still giving it a 0 out of 10 strategy caller. There's no... listen, he could win the race from here, and I'm still giving it a 0 out of 10 strategy call. Because the reality is, to lose 2 places for 2 lap fresher full wet in a 100% race distance is not really worth it. Yeah, he should have stayed out. If he stayed out, he would have been P6 right now anyway. He wouldn't even have to think about overtaking his teammate. Speaking of which, I will mention Dom is going to be racing in Tier 2 now. Full-time driver in Tier 2. Gonna be honest, I have not raced with Dom yet. So I look forward to that. Me and Dom will be racing each other. And Dom will be racing with the likes of Doug. He'll be racing with Brewdog. He'll be racing with Devsy on occasion. Beast on occasion. Okay, most of the time with Beast. I think most of the time with Devsy. Algary. So I'll be racing quite a few of these drivers on a full-time basis in Tier 2. So I look forward to seeing what Dom can do in Tier 2, that's for sure. Anyways, we'll have another lap, or maybe more, depending on how long it takes for Jar Jar Bing. I Am Batman is unfortunately a lap down, so he has got an absolute miracle on his cards if he wants to do anything special in this race. He might be happy just to finish a lap down, to be honest with you, I don't know. Jar Jar Bing is still on the lead lap, and he will be in a position to catch up, it seems, although he's going into the pits. Oh, wow. Yo, am I able to clip that? Oh, you know what, I have to do it. I could do it, yes. I'm sorry, Jar Jar Bing, I had to clip that. And he's changing his front wing as well. Oh, I'm sorry, Jar Jar Bing. I don't mean to laugh. He's gone for fresh intermediates and a change of wing. He's down at P13. He could have DNF from the race from that. Oh my gosh. Dom looks to be quick. He does. He does. I'm interested in what his pace is though. Because I generally don't know what his overall pace would be in Tier 2. Like, could he compete with the front runners that are, obviously, you've got Ghost, you've got, oh crikey, I need to remember the tier now, Salty Stevens, very quick driver, Hybrid is quick, Doug is quick, I need to remember every driver now, who else is in the, I might need to get the Tier 2 standings up just to remember everyone. Mr. Wiggles, Mindful Wasp, there you go, there's a couple of others. There's probably other drivers as well. Apologies if I didn't mention your name. You probably are one of the quick ones as well. Brewdog on his day. He could be good. Beast, he's been reserving very quick as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting where he could be compared to those names. Anyway, Hazer, Bolt, let's see what can happen here. We're going to go away from the gap to the leader. That ain't important. What's important is the interval. And into turn one. Oh, off track goes Hazer! He's not going to lose out, is he? Yes, he is. He loses Bolt. He loses to Link's Peace as well. A massive mistake from the championship leader Hazer. He's lost 2 places on the fresh inters. Are the intermediates the way to go? Well, he's been overtaken now by Mr. Poem. And Poem is sailing through the outside. A little bit of contact, it seems. It was tricky on the angle because the game decided to give us a rubbish angle. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a pathetic angle the game gave us. That's why I had to give the driver cam. But Mr. Poem has not quite been in a position to gain a place, but was almost there to take advantage of the Hazer mistake into turns 1 and 2. So now what's going to happen here? Link's Piece is closing up towards Russell Bolt. Don't forget Link's is on the fresh, full wet tyres. Russell Bolt is on fresh, full intermediate tyres. And it's definitely looking like the full wet to the way to go. As Falcon Warrior does take Doug. I thought for a moment Parkour was going to spin out as well. But Doug has lost out to the Red Bull of Falcon Warrior. And now Parkour is going to get involved in these dangerous games. So dangerous that she's gone off track, in fact, and loses to place of WBA Bulldog. Oh, Falcon Warrior's in the wall. The Red Bull is into the wall at Monza. Can he get his car back up and running? It does seem like it, but a real struggle there. Does he have any wing damage? Well, he's seeming like he is staying out, but big concerns there. Falcon Warrior, unfortunately, was ahead of Doug. Is now down to P12. It's been a very interesting start to this event, I have to say. I say it starts the event, we are about halfway through, just under halfway through in fact. We're getting close to being halfway through now in fact. But Russell Bolt and Link still are right up there. Can Link make this move on the intermediate tyre runner here? Again, just 11 corners in total. Has he got an opportunity to make a move here? As Brewdog has overtaken Doug now, so Doug's still dropping down behind an intermediate tyre runner. Is it intermediate conditions or is it full wet conditions? It looks pretty close. I'd still maybe just about go with full wets right now. Then again, it does look like it is drying up, you know. Parkour, 3-second time penalty. Currently in P7. I don't think the intermediates are going to be too bad at the moment. And you can see that by the fact that Bolt and Hazer are not too far off the pace. But it does still look like the full wets are the better tyre right now as a struggle for Falcor Warrior. Again, unfortunately, off the back of a Scari. And here Mr. Poem and also Merc had a look on a potential overtake. That strategy call from Doug has not looked like a winning strategy call, that's for sure. And in fact, not a winning strategy call because he's just gone into the rear of WBA Brewdog. It's caused carnage behind. DD Friend and Glue as well getting involved. I think Glue has got the position, or has he? He has done. So Doug, sadly, WBA Brewdog has got a way to go. We did see that on stream. So Doug, you're not fortunate in losing out on that one. So that would obviously incur a penalty for Doug. A pretty clear-cut penalty, if you'd ask me. Right, Jar Jar Bing. As I had a Falcor. Falcor Warrior is on to the fresh, full wet tyres now. As off goes the McLaren of DD Friend. I thought for a moment there may have been a collision, but he does hold out. I mean, Doug, that strategy call, and ever since then he has struggled. Speaking of struggled, he's now been overtaken by DD Friend. And now we're slowing down so much, I don't know if he's trying to let Brewdog through. He might be. He might be waiting for Brewdog. I don't really see the point now, but, you know, I think he is. He's definitely waiting, it seems, for WBA Brewdog, which is okay. Reasonable. It obviously doesn't help Brewdog in that sense. Brewdog, as you can see, is very thankful for it. Doug is definitely listening to the commentary because there's no chance he would have done that otherwise. I'm joking. He may have done it otherwise. Let's see, is he actually watching Is he listening along? Let's find out. Doug, is your name here? No. I don't see his name on there. Okay. He's not listening directly off that. But either way, Doug does let him pass, which is a very gentleman thing to do. He'll crash Brewdog out in about a lap's time. Don't you worry. Anyways, back to the AlphaTauris. Mr. Perm still not getting through on Hazer. I think the intermediates are starting to work more favourably compared to the full wet. I don't think the full wets are going to be able to last too much longer. But do they wait until it's drier tyre conditions? Or do they just decide, yeah, you know what, we got to go full wets? Or intermediates, rather. I was a bit interested in the strategy calls under the safety car, though. Some did go inters, many did go full wets. If I knew it was going to dry out within like 10 minutes or whatever, or 15 minutes, I probably would have maybe gone inters myself. It just depended on how long the engineer said it's going to stay like full wet conditions for. And obviously, it didn't last too long. Mr. Perm, does he stay out? Yes, they both stay out, Mr. Perm and Merc. So we'll go towards Hazer, who is closing the gap and closing in on the Haas of Link's Peace. We also mentioned Doug has overtaken Brewdog, so there's no doubt in my mind that Doug has crashed into Brewdog and overtaken him in a gentlemanly way. Of course, no, I'm joking, obviously. I didn't see the overtake, but it wouldn't shock me if he tried to DNF him. No, again, I'm joking. I'm just joking, I'm joking. Don't kill me. Right, Hazer then, let's see if he can make a move on Link. And you can see there the amount of grip Hazer is getting through the second chicane is quite clear to me down through the Variante. I think Hayes is certainly gaining so much more on links now. Those intermediates are far better, as Glue is showcasing, making an overtake on teammate Parkour. And Glue is up to 7th place. Let's go back towards Hazer, because I think Hazer may be about to go for the overtake here, but not quite. And stays in behind Link's Piece. He's got to make the move on Links to catch up to Bolt. Russell Bolt right now is the surprise runaway leader and more than 2 seconds ahead of Lynx. There's no more safety cars. Russell Bolt could be the driver to beat here in this evening's event. And don't forget, there will be no more rain. Once this rain clears up, there is no more rain planned. Mr. Perm is into the pits then. Which, you know, that has to mean it's going to be the gap to the leader time. As Hazer is going for the switchback on Link's Piece. Has he got the switchback on Lynx? They're going to be really close. I think Hazer's going to possibly try it. Is he going to go through it down into the Variante? Here comes Hazer. I think he's just too far behind, or is he? He's going to go round the outside. They are side by side still through the Variante. Hazer makes the move. Brilliant from the AlphaTauri, and through he goes. Absolute stellar driving there. Link's Piece gave him the right amount of space. Hazer takes it in all its glory and is up into 2nd place. He's got 4 seconds to catch Russell Bolt, but we know what Hazer can do, and that is he can catch Russell Bolt. So there you go, through he goes. A brilliant overtake from the AlphaTauri. Probably the best overtake we've seen so far. Right, Mr. Permanent is on the fresh intermediates. He is about 30 seconds behind, ironically enough. That was the gap between him and Hazer earlier on. Before that safety car came out, it did not really help Mr. Perm, unfortunately. But now it's going to be interesting, these intermediates. You do imagine he will gain on the likes of Russell Bolt and Hazer, but how quickly will he's gaining? By about half a second or more than that. On this lap alone, he's gained by about a second, in fact. So Mr. Perm certainly is the quickest driver right now on the circuit, as Merc also pits. Doug had also pitted before then, but Doug unfortunately is a long way behind. It's probably even longer than long. But anyways, Merc into the pits. Odds at intermediates, as is Dom and Parkour as well. We'll go with Mr. Poem. I think he will sail past, and Merc will be no match for Mr. Perm. As you can see, exiting out of the pits there, Merc. WBA Brewdog has managed to get himself involved It's up to 6th place, but of course, again, 10 laps old on those intermediates, or 10 lap old tyres, shall I say. Merck now has some sort of job to do. Mr. Poem did ensure he was ahead of the Mercedes. But there you go, Merck has got something to do here. And that is a move he has to make on WBA Brewdog if he wants to keep close tabs on the top 5. So I'm wondering if Link's Piece is thinking about that pit stop now as well, to be honest. It could be time for fresh enters. But unfortunately, especially if you're the likes of Mr. P or Brewdog or Merck, whoever you are, if you are not on the inters already, like Bolt, Hazer, Glue, these are the guys, and Brewdog in all fairness. I did mention Brewdog before, but I didn't mean to. But Brewdog will be one of those 4 drivers you would look at right now and say they're on the best tyre and they're in the best position that they could have been in. Bolt in particular. Bolt has gained so much time and is now 5 seconds ahead of Hazer. Into the pits does go Link's Piece, and there will be a set of the fresh intermediate tyres. Where will he come out against the likes of Mr. Perm? Merck has taken Brewdog meanwhile and is up into P6. Make that P5 surely. As Link's Piece is now coming out, and actually Link's Piece is ahead of them, so he's up to 5th place now. Link's is on to fresh tyres, 2 laps fresher than Mr. Poem. Sure, Doug will love the sound of 2 lap fresher tyres there. And that's for Link's Piece on Mr. Poem. Right then, any other battles going on at the moment? Brewdog, of course, did lose out to Merck, but he's got Dom about 5 seconds further behind him, and Jar Jar Bing and Doug now. Doug is going to sail past. He's on 2 lap old tyres. Again, he's loving the 2 laps. Oh, that's interesting. Hang on, let's go back towards that one. Jar Jar Bing, 10-second tyre penalty. Obviously unintentional. Just broke too late. Didn't go into Doug. You know, then again, Brewdog would have said it would have been calmer for what happened, obviously, between them. Yellow flags is for I Am Batman. Definitely playing the Joker tonight, and he's still running in P14, but he's got his teammate. He's about to lap him. Okay, never mind that, as DD Fred went so far off track. I think he might be visiting Imola with the fact that he went so far off track there. I'm not going to lie. Let's go back then towards the battle. Mr. Poem and Lynx, I think, will be the one to watch. More yellow flags. Sadly, it is for I Am Batman, and actually it's a safety car because Batman has lost his wing. Again, it makes things interesting now. Surely everyone's going to want intermediates. Do you all want fresh intermediates though? Let's see what happens, shall we? It looks like fresh inters could be the way to go if you're not on fresh inters already. Let me guess, Doug's going to pit for fresh inters, even though he's got 2 laps on his tyres, you know. It's Doug, so he might as well. In all fairness, Doug is probably in a position where he can actually pit fresh tyres and get away with it. Right now, it might be the better thing to do. The one before it wasn't, but now you could make a case for it. So that's Bolt then. He is potentially looking to pit, but I do wonder if he will. Surely you will, Box. I think he has to. I mean, you've got Hazer, Glue as well. I have to mention Glue. What a position Glue has found himself in. Mr. Poem. I think Mr. Poem will probably get through on Glue, but Glue will be up there. If they all pit, Glue will be right up there with Bolt and Hazer. And Mr. Poem and Lynx as well. So Glue will gain massively out of this safety car. And there you go, the top 2 are both in. I think Glue just has to pit as well. Yeah, there you go. So Glue is into the pits now, and it makes things interesting. Mr. Poem on 3 lap hold intermediate. I don't envision him pitting now, unfortunately. I don't know, let's see. Does he make the pit stop or does he stay out? I think he is going to stay out, as is Link's Piece, as is Merck. So no real surprises there. Let's see Glue at the moment. So Glue is dropping down, but he will be ahead of Merck, will he? Or no? No, he's not. So Merck is ahead of Glue, but Glue is still in the top 6, and he's on fresh intermediate tyres now. So he's got himself into a brilliant position here, Glue. Absolutely sticking to the track remarkably well. And Brewdog is on the fresh tyres. Doug did not pit all that again. Oh, he actually isn't. He's not pitting. See, I was thinking there maybe it was better if he did pit. But then again, Jar Jar Bing has stayed out on his 10-lap hold inters. And don't forget, we will be getting, it looks like we'll be getting dry running as well. Since I'm new, wait, what? Since I'm new, that means I'm staying in Tier 3 next season, right? Because I missed elevators. No, because we go by time trials. So if you're, and to be honest, seeing your pace in the races that you've been in, it wouldn't surprise me if you ended up in Tier 2 next season. But I think next season anyway will be on the new game, so it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure we'll only be getting this season out of this game, and obviously we've done a couple of seasons beforehand. But because the game is coming out earlier, I don't think we'll be going beyond this season on this game. Because effectively we've got, what, April, May, so we've got about a couple of months left now. We've got just under 3 months, I think, until the new game comes out. May the 31st or May the 28th, if you have already got it, basically. If you pre-ordered it, it will be May the 28th. That's a Champions Edition, I do believe. If not, May the 31st. There's only 3 days difference, really. Not too much. Right, so as you can see then, I mean, Rusty Bolt was in a brilliant position by the fact that Hazer has that 30-second penalty. I think they're all on the same tyres. Obviously, the tyre life is different. So we'll go to the penalty situation then. And then the gap to the leader will... Oh, DD Fred, Jar Jar Bing, Volcore Warrior. Have you been racing tonight? I didn't even realise that. Look at the penalties for DD Fred, Jar Jar Bing and Volcore Warrior. If you were accumulated, those 3 drivers have 50 seconds of time penalties between DD Friend, Jar Jar Bing and Volcore Warrior. 50 seconds! Glue would get disqualified if he had that. Oh wait, he did at Qatar. 50 seconds between 3 drivers. Wow. Kind of proud of how I'm racing right now. Being a bit scrappy, but of decent-ish pace. I mean, you are in a car quicker than what you should be in. But yeah, you're doing really well though. No, joking. Again, you know you are doing well, to be fair. Maybe next week you'll be in the AlphaTauri. Then again, the AlphaTauri's... I'm very surprised at the pace of that car. Oh wait, you let DD Friend through. Were you behind DD Friend? I think you may have been actually. So we've got another Lapland under the safety car. Just waiting for Volcore Warrior and I am Batman. As Batman, I think he's still lapped. The fact that he's been lapped once. Damn, that's unfortunate. He's been lapped once and he's trying to catch up to just being lapped once. Don't pit again, Batman. Don't pit again unless you really need to. Because that safety car is going to go in this lap no matter what. I would have thought better from Doug in this race. I'm surprised he's down in P11. Knowing the pace he has at this track, it makes me a bit more optimistic going into tomorrow night's international tier race. DD Friend is lagging like crazy. He lagged past. Oh, he just lagged past you. Ah, did he? Let's see. Let's go on with DD Friend and see if he does lag. I haven't seen him lag, but then again, I haven't really been watching him much tonight. We go with the direct on board. We can see it a bit better, I presume. I'm not seeing any lag at the moment. Okay, a little bit of lag there. It does seem like some lag, but I'm not sure if it's loads of lag or not. It doesn't seem to be lagging too badly. I've only seen one bit of lag. Unless you mean because of 16 seconds of penalties, I don't know. Safety car's going to stay out for one more lap. Are you joking? Wow. Unless it does a late call, but I think it's staying out. We're going to have one more lap under the safety car. If anyone wants to pit again... Oh, they were looking at it. There's loads at the back. Falcor Warrior could have made that decision, you know, to pit again. I am Batman. Hello? I am Batman? Oh, well, the game has told I am Batman. Oh, no. What is he doing? Is he okay? Is he good? Is he good? What? Have you ever seen this before? What is he doing? I am Batman, yo! What was that? He went into the back of Brewdog. He's now got a drive-through penalty. He's got even more penalties than what he did have before. What was he doing? I'm sure. I'm guessing the game told him he can overtake. Because he's been lapped. For me, the game should do that earlier in a way. I blame the game in that respect. But there is a way to overtake it, and there's what he done. Which obviously wasn't exactly right now, was it? He could have been disqualified from all of that, you know. That could have been an easy disqualification for Batman right there. I'm relatively surprised it didn't disqualify him. Safety car is in this lap. I don't really know what Batman had in mind there, to be honest with you. Again, you know what I'm going to do? It makes it very easy. Clip the last minute. Just realising that clipping is actually the way to go about things. I don't even... You can't do that normally. If you're streaming through Xbox, you cannot do that. But because I'm streaming through my computer, I can do that. Right, let's go on. Again, Batman receives a 10-second penalty. I don't really know what he's doing at the moment. I'm going to be honest with you. And he could be in a position where he does get a disqualification relatively soon. We're going to go again. We're going to go with the interval. Yeah, we'll go with tyres now. Right, they are side by side. The two AlphaTauris here because Mr. Poem is charging in on Hazer. He's overtaken Hazer. And here comes Link's Piece to make it a three-way battle. As Link's got the place done, we'll go on board with Hazer, who's being overtaken by Merc. And it does look like the four-way battle continues. And Link's gets through. Poem is up to P3 and Merc overtaken Hazer. So Merc is up to P4. Hazel's lost 3 places in a span of just 1 straight and 2 corners. Absolutely insane. Can he get it back on Merc? Oh, contact! Merc has gone into the rear of... Was that a Mr. Poem? And Merc is down to P13. He gets a little swipe and he makes contact and down and out. And Merc is down to P13. What is the Williams doing? Oh no, gutting for Merc. But he's going to have to try and get himself back through the field. I am Batman, 5-second penalty. He has to retire, surely. Is he going to retire? Because I actually just don't know what he's doing right now. I don't think he knows what he's doing right now. What is he doing? He's got a 5-second penalty. He's been loaded with penalties in this race. I genuinely don't know what he's doing in this race. I'm going to be honest. Right, Falcor Warrior and Jar Jar Bing going side by side. I think Falcor has got the move done. So the Red Bull up into P11 now. Don't forget, I think both drivers have a host of time penalties as well. Merc is in there. Merc doesn't have quite so many on Batman again. 5-second penalty. Oh, I think... Is that a disqualification or is he just letting them through? That will give him a disqualification, you know. He has to go. At this point, I'm just enjoying watching I Am Batman. I don't know why. Might need to watch him a bit more, you know, at this rate. Don't know, should we just do an I Am Batman cam today and just watch the McLaren drive? Just watch him race around this track, because he might get disqualified, and we kind of want to watch it if he does. If he gets disqualified, I genuinely want to be on board with that. As Doug gets incredible traction here, trying to make a move on DD-Friend, looking for a move down the inside of Brewdog. Not really the pace you'd expect an overtake to be made, but Doug and potentially Volkoroy are getting involved as well. Let's see if DD-Friend does hold it. He does just about defend here, but here comes Volkor Warrior looking on a move on Doug. Can he make the move on Douglas and give him the L? Or will Doug stay ahead? Doug just stays ahead as well, and Doug is into the top 10. But of course he will take the place of DD-Friend as well. Still no yellow flags for I Am Batman, so he's still okay for one sector at least. Just one sector that is, of course. As Doug still trying to make this overtake on DD-Friend. I don't think he's in a position right now to go for it. Let's, because DD-Friend, in fact, is in a position to go for the overtake, and he will sail beyond Brewdog. And DD-Friend is going to make the move up to 8th place, unless the Merc can get back at the McLaren here. Same engine, of course, and there you go. DD-Friend has just lagged there. And that will likely give Brewdog a chance. He needs a Brewdog to re-overtake him. Yellow flags again. Let's watch this one. I Am Batman. He's now reversing on track, and surely it's going to be a disqualification. What is he doing? Is this the first time he's driven a Formula 1 car tonight? He's got a speeding penalty. He's retired to the pits. Oh, Batman. Oh, and off goes Volkor Warrior. I think that was the first time I Am Batman has driven a Formula 1 car before. It has to be. It has to be the first ever time. I've never seen... I mean, obviously I saw Glue got a disqualification, but that's because he cut the corner so many times as Mr. Perm receives another 3 seconds. That was when Glue cut the corner so many times at Qatar, he eventually got disqualified. Batman tonight, I don't know what he's been doing to get so many... penalties, to be so, you know, a lap, almost 2 laps down. Wow. He struggled in the McLaren, it's fair to say tonight. Right, Hazer and Mr. Perm, I'll go side by side, but Perm is trying for the overspeed. And he has got it. He has got the overspeed. Hazer cannot get through. We have seen, I mean, we've seen about 35 laps of racing. They've seen about 41 laps of racing. But the AlphaTavis at the moment are neck and neck. I still wonder, you know. I am definitely going to trial the AlphaTavis car. And I'm going to trial the Haas, I'm going to trial the Williams, I'm going to trial the Alfa Romeo. Because I want to genuinely see the pace of these cars. Because I'm a little bit... I want to say I'm a little bit baffled at the moment. The pace of the AlphaTauri is quite impressive. Let's go towards Merc, because he is directly behind Doug. We know Doug can defend fiercely. Will he defend fiercely on Merc? Again, though, Doug has really struggled in this race. We did say he was one of those who could have contested for a result here. He's really not. He has been a long way from contesting for a victory here tonight. Apart from the early signs where he did look like he had something in the early parts of the race, he has really struggled. Not sure why, because it is one of his best tracks for Doug, but it's not been his best track tonight, no doubt about it. Here comes Hayes, and he's all over the rear of Mr. Poem. Is Poem going to be able to defend this any longer? 2 AlphaTavis going at it. Don't forget, you don't have official teammates here, which is kind of why they are going at it so much. They probably wouldn't in normal conditions. Let's say it was Tier 1 and it was Hazer and Russell Bolt. I don't imagine they'll be going at it like this. I probably would imagine Bolt may let Hazer through in these conditions. But obviously in 100% tier, very different, because you don't have a normal teammate, so to speak. Hazer's definitely trying to put the pressure on Mr. Poem here. And you know what? As someone who was sticking to the limit. Glue is still there in 5th place at the moment. Rusty Bolt is pulling clear. 3.4 seconds. Nobody is threatening the Williams. The Williams does look mighty here. And let's go towards Merck because he, for a moment, I thought he was going to make the move on Doug. Then again, that moment could be cut short because I think, does he get the line that he needs? He's really trying on Doug. But Doug is defending and defending brilliantly so far. And there you go, Merck cannot get through on Doug once again. Doug has done it superbly. Let's go towards Hazer because, again, he is on the rear of Mr. Poem. Nose to tail, but no chances of making a move. Oh, what's happened there? Off track goes Mr. Poem. Hazer will get the move done then. So Hazer's now up into 3rd place. Let's go down towards Doug because he has been overtaken by Merck. So Mr. Poem loses out to Hazer whilst Merck overtakes Doug. And Merck is up into the top 10. Into the pits goes Jar Jar Bing. He was on 19 lap old intermediate. And he may think about going dry tyres. He's gone for soft tyres now for Jar Jar Bing. Gonna be honest with you, it's too wet for dry tyres. But that's what he's gone for. We are on with Glue and let's see what the Williams can conjure up here against Mr. Poem. I mean, remarkable where he is at the moment. He's really going for it. He's definitely going for it. He's overtaken Mr. Poem. He's on 4 laps fresher tyres. But Glue now is up to 4th place. Maybe the AlphaTauri showing some signs of wear here this evening on those tyres. But also the car. Maybe the limitations of the vehicle are beginning to show here as Doug receives another penalty. Let's go towards Hazer, who's caught up to the rear of Link's Peace here. And actually, they're both going into the pits. Everyone's going into the pits. Who stayed out? Parkour stayed out for Inters. Interesting call. And also Dom. So Parkour and Dom have opted to stay out, but it looks like soft tyres will be emerging on now. Soft tyres. Don't forget 100% tier, so these softs can definitely last until the end. Even in the 50% to be fair, 9 laps, you could probably take the softs to the end. But certainly in these conditions, the soft tyres would be more grippy than mediums or certainly hards. Nobody's going to think about hards in these conditions. It was always going to be either softs or mediums. Softs are most likely, and softs it will be, as you can tell from the whole pack, except for the top 4. So you've got Parkour, Dom, Merck and Doug, who have all opted to stay out on their current tyres. Is that the best call, or is that a strategic mistake? Glue for me though, still doing a stellar job though, up into P7. And it looks like he is now gaining time on Hazer as well. So wait, I think has the DRS been activated yet? We will see. Well, Glue obviously didn't get it. We haven't seen anybody get it yet. Yellow flags for Aston Martin. Dom has pulled out the yellow flags there. Don't lose your front wing. He's trying to get his car around and he has now got back up and running. I think he will be going for soft tyres rather, not another set of inters. He does not want to use those green tyres again. He was letting cars through. Bless him. Anyways, he will be going for softs, and I think everybody now has gone into the pit. So, we're up and running, and everybody is on the fresh, soft tyres. So therefore, we'll move away from that. We will go to the penalties. Why not? Let's go to the gap to the leader. As you can see, Hazer right now would only lose out towards Glue. He would stay ahead of Link's Peace, however. So Glue right now would take 2nd place. But can he hold it? Because Hazer is certainly gaining time on the Alpine. So you've got Parkour and Mr. Poem. Mr. Poem has 6 seconds worth of penalties. And Parkour just 3 seconds. They are both reserving tonight. So Parkour doesn't really need to let the AlphaTauri through. But I'm sure Mr. Poem in these conditions will feel better. Jar Jar Bing with another 3 seconds. 19 seconds in total now for Jar Jar. 16 for DD Friend. 13 for Folklore Warrior. No penalties for Dom, Brewdog, Lynx, Glue or Rusted Bolt as well. So they've all done a very good drive to not get any penalties. Obviously Dom did just make the error on the intermediate, so maybe not including the Aston Martin there. Hazer then 23.449 fastest lap, and he's got himself 2 seconds or so behind Rusted Bolt now. But Poem with a 23.184 snatched it away from Hazer, and he's going for the overtake on parkour. Round outside into turn 1, and through goes Mr. Poem on these soft tyres, and Poem flying through at turn 1 and is overtaken. And let's see through the Curva Grande, and now Mr. Poem will hold the place. Merck also taking the place of DD Friend. Maybe an error from the McLaren, who took a very narrow line, it seems. It wouldn't surprise me if he did go off track there, DD Friend, but he's lost out on Merck. Merck up into 8th place then, but gaining us 6 seconds worth of penalties. Unlikely to gain many more places out of this. And this is when Doug's pace needs to show on these tyres. In these conditions, surely he's going to be in a good position now to gain some good time. So Hazer still gaining on Rusted Bolt. The gap is 1.7 seconds now. But can Hazer get himself... First of all, he needs to get himself within a second. Then after that, he needs to overtake Bolt. Bolt fast lap, Hazer fast lap at 22.522. And Mr. Poem, 22.389. And here you go, parkour now has overtaken Mr. Poem. That fast lap between these two must have been incredibly close. Parkour making the move, not letting Mr. Poem go. And Parkour catching the rear of Glue as well. Glue has been overtaken by Lynx Peace. DD Friend has got through on Merck. So DD Friend up into 8th place, but Merck is challenging again. Not sure if you want to be overtaken here through the Curva Grande. And there's almost contact between them. And there you go, I think DD Friend has held the place on Merck. DD Friend taking a very tight line through the chicanes, but either way, he does stay ahead. And Merck will try and follow and make a move at some point. Hazer losing a bit of time, over 2 seconds behind Rusted Bolt now. That is the battle for the lead, and Merck does now get through on DD Friend. DD Friend unable to challenge with the Williams. And now, level playing field. Parkour and Mr. Poem both with 6 seconds of penalties, and Parkour overtaking Glue as a result. Wonder if Glue was trying to play a teammate role there, but Parkour has overtaken Lynx Peace here. Does Lynx Peace get DRS? Does he get DRS? No! Nobody's got... who's got DRS? He does. He does get DRS. So both Lynx Peace and Glue and also Mr. Poem all get DRS here. It's turn 1, but Lynx Peace not close enough to Parkour. So none of them made a move, in fact, into turn 1. So they all have to hover in behind there. Is there a chance here for any of them to overtake Parkour? Parkour absolutely screaming her way through to making those moves on Lynx and Glue. Obviously made a move on Mr. Poem the lap before. And now Parkour onto the podium, albeit with the 6 seconds of penalties. We've got 5 laps remaining here at Monza. And it is Rusted Bolt who looks set for the win unless he makes a mistake or Hazer really starts to showcase some strong pace here. But it is clearly the advantage to Rusted Bolt. Glue receives a 3-second penalty, so the only one in this 5-way train without a penalty is the Haas of Lynx Peace. But Glue now has a 3-second time penalty in 5th position. So again, the only one out of these 4 drivers without a penalty is Lynx Peace. And as you can see here, Lynx making the move, and surely going to move on Bolt. He's just going to grass a little bit. Not Bolt, Parkour rather. They are side by side into turns 1 and 2. And let's see, I think Lynx Peace has been able to hold it. Parkour couldn't quite defend. And the battery levels, they are all struggling. I wonder if Mr. Poem, a little bit better Mr. Poem on this battery, but they are all low on their battery levels, unfortunately. Mr. Palm does get through on Glue. That would have been incredibly tight, but Glue sticking in behind there. Mr. Poem then up into the top 5. Again, though, 6 seconds of penalties. He needs to overtake Parkour, really, if he wants to gain anything out of this event. So Doug has got himself through on DD Friend. He's up into 9th place now, Doug. He will be finishing ahead of Merck at the moment due to Merck's extra 3 seconds of penalties. So let's see what happens. We are getting closer. All off track goes Link's piece there. That gives Parkour a chance here. And how big of a chance will that be for Parkour? Because she is now within 0.4 of a second. I'm not sure if Link's piece can hold off the 0.4 of a second down a straight. Surely Parkour will sail and go through. Let's watch this one. Into turn 1. Now Alpine Parkour. Can she make this overtake stick? She will go for the outside line. And Link's piece will try and defend the inside, but unable to do so. And Parkour is now back onto the podium. Back again. Back with a podium. But obviously the 6 seconds of penalties will rule that out completely. Brewdog is still in a good place here. Don't rule him out of a potential top 6 finish. Because of the penalties up ahead, if he can keep pace with them, he could be in a good place, you know, Brewdog. Let's see what he can do. But the battles, there's no real battles here because Rusted Bolt and Hazer, they are always going to get P1 and P2. Nobody is in a position to challenge those two drivers. They are Tier 1 AlphaTauri teammates, and you can see their pace tonight very, very strong. But Parkour still there, keeping Lynx, keeping Poem, and keeping Glue. Glue perhaps a surprise contender here in the Alpine. Naturally would be in a quicker car than the Alpine, but doing a very good job nonetheless. So we'll stick with this 4-way battle, I think, because it's really the only battle to note. I mean, you do have a battle actually for 9th place, Folkor, Warrior, Doug, and DD Friend, but they all have time penalties, which means Doug would obviously get the place. Folkor Warrior would also finish ahead. Right, and let's go here because Dom has taken Jar Jar Bing and Lynx has taken Parkour into turn 1. Lynx piece up into 3rd position now. But yeah, Dom just making a risky move but overtaking Jar Jar Bing and up into 12th place. Jar Jar Bing will get DRS from the rear of the Aston Martin. Oh! Contact here between Lynx and Parkour. What happened there? And Lynx piece has also retired on track, which obviously means he will get a penalty out of that as well. So will be a penalty. Ooh, what's going on there? Between Doug and Falco. Oh! That's an interesting one. I am going to very quickly record the last. I might actually, you know what, I'm going to record the last minute. There's a reason for that, because the incident before. Was that a brake check from Vocal Warrior? Or, and this is my thinking, I'm reckoning that I don't think he's like that. Or I'd like to think he's not like that. I reckon he may have been trying to avoid a hat of a Lynx piece, who obviously just retired. So taking that into account, I think he may have been avoiding the Haas. Because the Haas had just retired on track just ahead. They had pulled to the side. That's a chance that's what he was doing. But we won't know for sure, of course. Doug would probably presume it was a brake check at the time. And he'd definitely be complaining. I know what Doug will be like. He will be complaining about that. And I don't blame him. It probably from his angle it would have looked like that. But from what I saw, there may have been a chance, a fair chance, Volkor was perhaps trying to avoid a Haas ahead. Yellow flags for DD Friend. It's not Batman on this occasion. It is for the McLaren though. But we'll try and stick with the action here because the top two are running well clear. There's no doubt over who will finish on the podium in terms of that top two. Bolton and Hazer. Who will get the third spot on the podium though? We are on the penultimate lap. And it does look like Glue is in a good place to get an incredible penalty. I was going to say incredible penalty. Incredible podium. And it will be an incredible podium from Glue if he can keep it up, which he's only got one more lap to do so. And what a podium this will be for Glue. He will definitely be in my driver of the day candidates, no doubt about that. Anyways, we are starting the final lap then. And into turn 1, Russell Bolt 2.2 seconds leading over Hazer. And Hazer has a 3-second penalty as well. No chance Hazer's going to come away with the win here. And as you can see, Mr. Perm is staying ahead of Glue. Glue not able to take the place, but he doesn't need to as Merck also makes a move on Brewdog. And Merck up into 6th position then. But Bolt is clearing the field and set to purple sector 1 as well. As Glue keeping close tabs on Mr. Perm, not letting him out of his eyesight here. No way is he letting Potem put away. It just looks like the Alpine is set for place on the podium, a surprise podium at Lat, but I think there's no doubt about that. But anyways, through into Ascari now, and Rusted Bolt is absolutely clear of the chasing pack. There's no way on earth anybody is going to deny Rusted Bolt the victory. The Lithuanian will come through because he's going round a bend at turn 11. And this is it. Victory in the 100% tier and Monza, Italy. Bolt wins here in the 100% tier. Incredible drive, and it's a deserved victory from what I saw. I mean, the strategy calls were spot on from Rusted Bolt. Hazer takes home P2 and Glue does in fact finish P3 with Mr. Poem in 4th place, Brewdog in 5th, Parkour 6th from Merck in 7th. And it does look like Doug in P8. Volcor Warrior coming through in 9th position as well. And let's see, DD Friend looks set to finish in P10. We've got 2 more drivers to cross the line. Dom in P11. I've got to say it was a bit of a shaky second part of the race from what I saw. But anyways, Dom, I'm not saying from Dom. Dom does go through P10 ahead of DD Friend in fact. Jar Jar Bing will come through last, but it's Bolt who wins. But yeah, the last part of the race wasn't exactly great in terms of some of the racing, the incidents, of course. But there you go. I think standout drivers tonight were probably Rusted Bolt and Glue, in all honesty. I think those two should be delighted with their performance. Hazel, of course, got a podium. P2, great result again. And it will keep him in a championship lead by a long way, I do believe. But yeah, well done then. Congratulations for the win, Rusted Bolt. Congratulations on P2 to Hazer. And a very superb job from Glue to finish on the podium. Really good P3, I was going to say P2. P3 from Glue. If you're going to ask me for my honest opinion on driver of the day, oh, I don't even know now. Seeing where he started. Very close in my opinion between Rusted Bolt and Glue for my driver of the day. Best of luck if you're voting. And again, obviously, we haven't needed to do any other driver of the days. I'm going to do it right now then. So Rusted Bolt will be 1, Glue will be the 2nd. Parkour. Then again, I don't really know what happened between Parkour and Links, but I'll include Parkour anyway. Final driver, Hazer or Brewdog is what I'm thinking. Hazer was up there through the whole race. Brewdog did have to pick it up a little bit. Maybe Brewdog. I'll go Brewdog. 4 contenders then for my driver of the day. I'll go Rusted Bolt, Glue, Brewdog and Parkour. I'll write that in later on, don't worry. But anyways, fantastic racing. I think, to be honest, no disrespect to 2 of those drivers, I think Rusted Bolt and Glue are the obvious contenders though. So there's no doubt that those 2 would have been in there. But the other 2 could have been a host of drivers, but I think Bolt and Glue are the obvious ones. Anyway, that has been a 100% tier race done. Thankfully, we did get through it. The game obviously didn't want me to be in the lobby, but I somehow forced a way through. You know, then again, like some drivers might do. Let's have a look, see what we have coming for us this week. tomorrow night we will be back here at Monza for the international tier. I do know that much. So 100% tier at Monza for the international tier tomorrow night. So if you race tonight, you will get a little bit of practice effectively for tomorrow night. Let's go through on Monday night, providing EA is decent. The race will be held at Shanghai. No, it won't. I'm lying. It will be held at Miami. Sorry. So we'll be at the United States for the Miami Grand Prix on Monday night. Tuesday night in Tier 2, and that'll be held at Silverstone in Great Britain. Bet Ghost is very quick there. In Tier 3 on Wednesday night, it will be a sprint at Austria. So best of luck to Tier 3 for that one. And next week in the 100% tier, and it will be at Singapore. So if you like the Marina Bay, you'll love Singapore. Absolutely. There you go. So Singapore for the 100% tier next week. I wonder if we'll get 19 drivers again. Not so sure. But anyways, I will end the stream on that one. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, in the end, after the mic had been sorted out and stuff, and obviously the obvious issues earlier in the race, I hope for about 30 laps or so, it was decent. Apologies for the stuff beforehand. Not a lot I could do with EA, and there was a lot I could do with the mic, but I didn't realise it was muted, unfortunately. But obviously, got it all fixed in the end. Thank you for watching, and good night.